There we go. Okay. I
So
am joined.
where are we today?
Where are we? You're joined by myself, Brady, host of Inner Strength Check podcast, all the way from not as sunny by the looks of it, Australia. Whereabouts are you in the moment, Andy? It's looking quite nice where you are.
Yeah, I'm probably directly on the at the opposite of the planet,
Yeah.
on on the Canary Islands, the
Oh
Spanish
wow.
Canary Islands, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow. There you
Well,
go.
that's where I live since a quarter of a century.
That's right. You have been living there quite a while, haven't you? Um,
Yeah.
And you're about to do a whole bunch of jet setting around the world again soon with the
Oh
remainder
yeah.
of your world tour.
Oh yeah. Don't remind me. Endless waitings at the airports. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have a pretty comprehensive run of dates too. I was seeing in October. You'll be taking about looks like in October, you've got about over a month where not many days off in between. You guys are playing quite a few shows.
Yeah, part one Europe. That's
Mm,
and we always try to pack it that we don't run into the cold winter days of January or February because that's super nasty in Europe, super
mm,
cold.
mm.
Um, so we try to make a break in January and February,
Yeah. Yeah.
and rather head on to South America than for March,
Oh
something like
yeah.
that's the plan. But so far I've seen that been added summer vacations directly after the European legs. We head into Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Korea, and all that stuff. So it should be nice and cozy there.
Yeah. It's kind of like you guys are kind of like migratory birds just following the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, the most of our guys have to go back to Christmas bad weather in Europe, but I'm happy to say I return to my sunny island over here, which is always warm. Here's no winter. So
Oh,
place to be for
fantastic.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's those people as you and me, and there's other people who really don't like the heat and don't like always to be in the warm. So,
Mm, mm.
which people like us probably cannot understand, but you have to actually accept that there are like I always say there are mountain people and there are sea people, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm definitely on the ocean side of things. So speaking of
Yeah.
people, so you guys are returning with your new album, and
Yeah.
I've been listening to that fair bit over the last couple of days, and it's quite an epic album. And when we're talking people, you've got
Mm.
seven. You've got seven, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Helloween fans are already going to be well on top of this, but you've got a lot going on literally in the mix there, mate. You've got three guitarists and three vocalists.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it's a very diverse album too. Like I noticed like a lot of different sort of stylistic changes when I was listening to it. You know, the opener starts very prog, very bombastic. There's
Yeah.
also some quite rocky moments too, like This Is Tokyo kind of leans into that hard rock kind of vibe. So maybe if you want to walk us through a little bit around how the recording and the songwriting process went for Giants.
Pretty much the same, maybe a bit more relaxed this time because
Mm,
you proved yourself with the last album. So I'm
mm,
happy to say that the last album presented several number one in the charts in
yeah.
all over the world actually, which was the first time for the band. So
Mm,
wow, better late than never.
yeah.
And so yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders because you've got nothing to prove here anymore.
Mm,
The people were pretty much happy with the last album. What we wanted to do is present an album which it's just a bit more easy listening. So
mm.
it doesn't really crash your head. And after 50 minutes, or the last album was even close to 60, um, you still liked the album, but after listening through it, you got a slight headache or something like that because it's
It's a long album,
demanding,
isn't it? Yeah,
long
yeah.
album. And this time we wanted to have it a bit more of a mixture, like these waves of coming up and down. Like the
Mm,
wave up, it's a very demanding song. Speed metal means lots of informations per second. very demanding for the listener. We all love it because we love to bang our heads and go for it.
Yep. Yep.
But we realized after a 10-minute song, you should definitely have a chance to cool down,
Mm.
have a good rocker or pop metal or whatever, like I Want Out, Dr. Steen, If I Could Fly, Power, all these songs.
Mm.
Like give a break. Still
Mm.
rocking, but
Mm.
not head crushing, not brain crushing.
Mm.
So I thought it's very important. It was pretty much everything there to do a nice mixture of this, what I just said, this ups and downs, because
Yeah.
we had like 23 songs on the table, like
Wow.
uh, super great songs. Every song is
Yeah.
standing for itself, which gave us a hard time. And the band itself just decided at the end of the day, okay, let the producer team and the management decide as well, because
Mm.
we're getting to no result here. It's too many songs. The good
Yeah.
side is it's a luxury problem because you could go into studio tomorrow and record another great album. So,
Yeah. Yep.
you
Album
know,
A and album B. Yeah.
yeah. But for this album, it made it very easy because you had so many songs and you decided to go into that vibe of like I would always say it's like that keeper feeling you have. You have
Yeah.
these speed metal songs and then suddenly you got a rocker
Mm.
which breathe again, and then you go back into the speed metal, and then you have a ballad maybe to breathe, and you go another 15 minutes of skull crushing music, and then you got another one coming down. I think that's very important.
Mm.
Maybe it's my age because, but I remember I was always enjoying more to listen to something which goes in waves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the down wave does not mean that this is a bad song. Maybe that's the hit even.
Yeah.
Speak, Speaking for songs like I Want Out or If I Could Fly, these are not typical Helloween songs. If you listen through a
Mm.
Keeper album, I Want
Mm.
Out is an outstanding song. It's not a typical Keeper song, but this was the biggest hit. Or back in the days, if I Could Fly, or even Forever and One, who would have reckoned that a ballad becomes number one? So
Yeah.
well, we're a speed metal band, and number one hit is a ballad. So you go like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I'll take that. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. It almost sort of feels like you guys have like over time, because for me, I'm not the biggest power metal head myself, but I was very like, I think like everyone else that it was almost like if you want your metal card, you got to go listen to Keeper. But
Yeah,
Dark Ride was
that's
another
the
one.
entrance.
Master of the Rings and Dark Ride were ones that I listened to a lot. But I think just across your discography, that's something that I've noticed about you guys is that, and I've actually feel that the new album accentuates what you're talking about even more. There's this sense that listening to the new album, I feel like I'm listening to like I'm watching a show, like you've crafted a set list kind of thing. It really I get the sense from this album that you're trying to not in a not in a stereotypical way, but I can really tell that you guys are really trying to throw in a lot of different influences on this one. Is that kind of what informed it for the choosing the songs?
Definitely that too. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. Um, well, being aware of 4 decades of metal, you have to reflect.
mm,
It's definitely something you could take it from the easy side and you say, well, we've got 4 decades of metal to cover, and through the history of Halloween, you may you can actually print so many different styles. You're allowed to because it's part of the band.
mm,
Um, at the end of the day, you have to find the mixture. You never satisfy all the people. It's like a good master.
mm,
If you have a finished mixed song, you go to the master studio, and the master studio tries to actually put the frequencies in place so that this song sounds pretty good on each and every different systems.
mm, mm.
So it's the best compromise you can get.
Yeah.
That's what you try to achieve.
Mm,
So, and the same I look at when I look at an album, the same happens there with the flow of the album.
yeah.
Because we're quite aware. I mean, we got at least 50, if not more, probably 60% of our audience are still people who enjoy to definitely buy a vinyl or a CD album
Mm,
and have this hour free. They are They are happy to sit back with a glass of wine or glass of whiskey or a cigar or whatever, or both of
Mm.
it, or triple,
Mm.
all of it.
Yep.
Lean back and listen to an album.
Mm.
So this is very important, the flow. For
Mm.
lots of people, like the new generations, they probably know what I'm talking about, but they never do it because it's not something common in the new generations. They
Mm.
just pick up one song and enjoy that one, and period. But for me personally, that's a loss because I always listened through an album. There were like 50% that I loved and 50% that I went like, I think I have to listen to it again.
Yeah.
I always gave it a chance. The funny thing is, these 50% that I didn't dig from beginning on are now my favorite songs
Yeah.
because I grew into them or I learned to love them and I even loved them more than the first hitters, so to say, you
Mm.
know.
Mm.
So for me, it's still important to listen through an album.
And I think I've watched a couple of recent interviews with yourself and Michael and others, and even some of the interviewers were saying like, you know, I'm on my 10th listen and I'm still finding new things, and that I'm getting the sense that you guys kind of bake that into the album as well with the writing, just
You
having
always, yeah, you
yeah,
always try, honestly. Honestly, you always try, but sometimes you don't have the chance to do a perfect mixture because you don't have enough songs to choose from.
mm,
It's probably as simple as that.
yeah,
Very often we've been happy to have 10, 11 great songs, but there was no chance to swap with other songs which were as good but fitting much more into the running order, into the vibe of flow of the
yeah,
album. So you go out with a compromise and you have a certain deadline where the record company goes like, you look, guys, we wait now like two
yep,
weeks for the final master and we have to go out now.
mm,
And I understand because they have their contractors in the stores and everywhere in the world and blah blah blah. So it's unfortunately always connected with money and money and money. So as
mm,
a band, you have to learn the hard way sometimes that you have to actually be in the ballpark of these
mm,
deadlines. I
mm,
hate it. I hate it.
mm,
Every artist hates it. But
yeah.
on the other hand, if you give us artists every freedom in the world, the the
Never come
album
out.
would it never
Yeah.
be released because we're
Yep.
never satisfied. You know, we could turn
Yeah.
this knob, we could turn there. And so
Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, you have to eat shit sometimes, and it's being out there without your blessing, so to
Yeah.
say. And
Yeah. But on that note, it sounds like you guys, even regarding the whatever time pressures you had from label management, all that sort of thing, touring cycle, yada yada. Like for instance, Danny recorded three tracks across, I think, three different drum kits, was it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So did you guys also go into this one with just like a really just like a really intense eye for detail, or is that kind of part of your normal process for writing an album?
No, definitely not. I mean, that would mean
Mm,
we'd always have been swum in millions of production budgets or something like that, which is pretty, it's not true. So
mm,
most of the times you had to really, yeah, be careful about the budget, put it that way.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
um, this time there was definitely way more budget, and we decided not to throw it out of the window, but realize some dreams we had back in the days. Um,
Mm,
I'm still envying, for example, other genres of music that I don't like, but
mm,
for example, rap or techno or you name it. Electronic music is not my cup of tea, put it that way.
yeah.
Um, I I I realize there are some good songs. Even I would say, yeah, okay,
Mm,
I have to. This got some musical substance, and I would like to listen to it without switching it off. But this is that's a rarity.
yeah,
But nevertheless, what I always envied, these guys are sitting at the computer and they have like 1,000 or 2,000 different kicks and snare drums, and they just swap it, boom,
yep,
boom, 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 until they have the sound fitting and they are satisfied. And as a rock musician, like a musician who really records his instrument, you don't have that luxury, certainly.
Mm,
And yes, there is a way in the technical digital world you could actually add samples, so ready sounds, to
mm,
what you just recorded to make it sound better. But it's still that compromise. And sometimes the kick is not sitting on the original kick, so it flams a little bit here, or it faces, or there's that like technical bullshit going on that you actually have to spend weeks to fix. So
yeah,
if you would have the luxury to record three different drums on one each and every song, then you would at least have the possibility to swap between these three drum kits.
yeah,
Certainly, it's only three drum kits and not 1,000
yeah.
kicks and snaps. So, but it's a little piece of that luxury cake that
Mm,
we
mm,
we give to ourselves by
yeah.
doing that.
And with
And it
this,
helped out.
sorry,
It helped out
continue.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it helped out a lot because suddenly you have that big Ludwig kit on a little is a little too much, for example, or on
yeah,
into
you
the
can
sun,
definitely hear it there. Yeah.
much bigger. It's much more monstrous, and
Mm,
so. And for a speed metal song, you certainly don't pick a super wide fat drum kit because you have to actually have five kits in a second.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
you need something slim, something cutting through. So you have the smaller Pearl kit there, which worked fantastically, and so on and what so forth. So it's a luxury, and I'm happy we did that.
Mm. Do you find, I mean, even just reading the promo materials or just watching interviews and stuff, it just sounds like, and even hearing you speak, Andy, like it sounds like you've got a lot of interfacing to do, just you yourself. I mean, we're talking about six other band members, multiple vocalists. You had two different producers and the Dutch are probably going to kill me over this one, but hey, it's an Aussie trying to pronounce it. Visselud Studios.
Listen,
Yep,
Lord.
Visselord.
Yeah,
Es tut mir leid.
yeah,
Um,
super.
but like that's a lot for I'm just hearing there is a lot of information for you as just in being a member of this band that you're having to manage. Do you ever find yourself getting like overwhelmed, or do you guys have sort of a process for trying to manage, like especially between self-titled now, seven different people, multiple producers? Does it ever get really chaotic?
Yes, but only for a second or so, because
Right.
and as soon as something is getting out of hand or chaotic or leaves a question mark, everybody is uh, the one who realizes it is standing up and goes like, "Oh, so what's the plan actually? What? Because I'm
Mm,
I'm confused now." So I think it all works because you step back, um, shut your ego, and
mm.
and and tell the people, I'm confused.
Yeah.
So you out yourself being the dummy here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And but that works because the rest of the guys follow up and say, yeah, it's a bit now. What are we doing actually here? So and then everybody
Mm,
sticks his. I think that's something that is automatically because everybody likes each other since years. I mean, this is a
yeah.
team working together since so many years. Even long before the Pumpkins United with Kai and Michael happened, that
Mm,
the old guys came back to the band. So the old new guys, new old guys, whatever.
mm, mm,
But long before them, it was that team.
mm,
So yes, you run into confusion sometimes, but that's normal. That's
mm,
normal. But
mm.
there's always Dennis and Charlie, like the production team. They go like, okay, you know what? We could try it like this and this and this, and then everybody goes like, yeah, okay, go for it. Because you're actually waiting for clarity. It's the right
Yeah.
word, maybe. So,
Mm,
but yes, sooner or later, you always run into chaos.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this time I have to say, Michael and I, for example, last time for the recordings for the voices, we ran into a little chaos because we were trying to sit there and we had like the lyric sheets in front of us, sitting there with the producers, finding out who would sing what and where and why and blah blah blah. And it took like 4 days just in the studio theorizing.
Wow. Yep.
And and this time, Michael and I decided, without asking producer team or whatever, Michael and I just decided, you know what? Let's sing all the songs.
Yeah.
I sing all the songs, you sing all the songs. And at the end
Mm.
of the day, when we did that, we go down to the beach, call it a day, and let the producers cut.
Yep.
So they should let them find out.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, that's what happened last time when we followed the plan, and then Michael was saying, you know, I don't feel comfortable with that. It's not
Mm.
my style. I don't like to sing that. I like
Mm.
it, but I don't like it for myself. So Andy, please. So I
Mm.
did it, or vice versa. I said, you know, Michael, this is actually very high technical. Yes, I can scream it, but I think really personally, I think it sounds much better with a clean technical voice like yours. And so Michael gave in and said, "Yeah, yeah, okay, let's try it." And he listens to his stuff and said, "Yeah, I like it." And said, "See, I don't like myself, but I like yours. And if you
Mm.
like yours, also it's you who should be singing here." And like, you know, so last time we lost a lot of time because of that.
Mm.
And I think it's only fair to sing everything and let them actually listen to it and find out, okay, we like much more Kiska here, we like much more Deris here, whatever.
Mm.
And for Michael and myself, it was, as I just described, easy beach time. And in the evening, we came back to the studio, listened to it, and said, "Yeah, cool," or question mark, and go over it later on.
Mm.
It was much better to do it that way, honestly, much better.
It sounds like you guys have such like humility, you know. You've got you got a legion of Pumpkinheads, legion of power metal fans that are, my God, you know, you guys are gods, etc., etc. It can be easy, I think, for bands that have been going as long as you guys have, to develop a bit of an ego. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like things are very democratic and that you guys are, you know, the way you're interacting with each other is keeping it humble.
Yeah, because I don't feel there's much ego shit in our way, put it that way,
Mm,
because since since the boys are back in town, so to say, um, we had these discussions as a 7P with like seven people around the table and actually talking very, actually, it was a party talk, how things went down back in the days and why did go pe things go wrong in the first place. And you had a
mm,
big smile on your face. And I said most of the times the summary was, well, we were young and stupid, or too much ego shit, or the balls were too big, and
yeah. Mm,
um, which is probably the plain truth. I mean, back in the days, you were, yeah, you you were pissed off because of a certain sentence, which probably was just a stupid sentence.
mm,
If you would have taken the time and cool down and went in there an hour or 2 hours later and just asked the guy, by the way, you said this and that, and he would probably explain himself and would have been a nothing burger, so to say.
mm, mm,
Nothing
mm.
going on. It was just stupid to say, and you got it in the wrong channel, you know.
So what kind of keeps
Yeah,
you, what kind of keeps you, other than obviously having such just a great team of people to work with in the band, because you know people will stay. I find it really funny that people still refer to you as the new vocalist because it's like you know,
yeah, always will be.
but
Always will be.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean it's a technicality. But what kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
keeps you going after like it's been a long time. It's been a long run and lots of, as you said, like ins and outs, dramas, big tours, that sort of thing. What sort of thing keeps you going in this industry, like as a vocalist, you feel?
Well, honestly, the industry doesn't keep me going at all. The
Mm,
industry is the black sheep next to my hobby. So
yeah.
sooner or later, you had to realize, okay, you are allowed to live off your hobby, but
Mm,
you have to say yes to this and that bullshit, unless if you want to proceed, put it that way.
yeah.
You're you're not allowed to proceed if you would not sign certain contracts. And you know these are shitty contracts, and you know
Mm,
you sell your soul to the devil kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's not avoidable. I mean, you have to eat that shit. But
Mm,
that's everybody, like everybody knows what I'm talking about. I mean, you could even ask a writer who started out actually putting his ideas just on paper and was completely satisfied because he finally wrote off his soul and he had it there, so he could actually say goodbye in his head to it,
Yeah.
which is with that, if you feel lighter, you put your thoughts onto paper. That's the same for a musician, probably for a painter too, for every artist.
Mm.
Um, but you never think about commercializing this.
Yeah.
It was the satisfaction was there long before there was the money involved.
Mm.
Sooner or later, at the age of 25, for me, at the age of 24, 25, I realized, okay, I'm not coming out of a rich house. I can't go on like that. You know,
Mm.
my mom and my dad have this and that much amount of money available. Actually, they didn't, but they still gave it to me. In every respect, you have to decide then sooner or later.
Mm.
Is there a chance? Can I make my living off it? Certainly, there's these famous years everybody knows where you try to job and make music, or job and be an author or painter or whatever. So that's probably a big part of every artist's life, where you try to combine making money, surviving,
Mm.
and your art. And as we all know, it comes to a certain point where you just cannot do it anymore.
Mm. Mm.
In my personal dilemma, that sounds negative, but it turned out to be positive very, very, very quickly. I suddenly became a dad, you
Mm.
know, and then you don't think for yourself anymore, but you think about your son or your girl, your daughter, whatever. In my case, it's my son. Suddenly, I had a family.
Mm.
Um, if I would not have won the lottery back in the days with my former band with Pink Cream 69 to exactly to that time being able to sign a CBS record deal, which guaranteed me a salary, which was nothing special, but at least it was enough to survive.
Mm.
But I would not have been able to come to go on. Put it that way. I would have been forced to look for a real job, 5 to 9 or something like that. Yeah, nine
Mm.
to five. Um, Fortunately, this didn't happen, but yeah, I mean,
Mm.
so I don't take anything for granted. And when I realize where I come from, I would be the complete asshole if I would feel like a fucking better person or rock star or something special. You know what I'm
Mm.
talking about? I come from down there, and I was happy to get up there with the help of a lot of people all over the world. So it sounds cliche, but it's spoken from my heart. So I'm definitely
Mm.
grateful for all these fans out there who gave us the possibility to really fulfill our dreams and live that dream actually.
Mm.
But back to the question, the downside of it is the industry.
Yeah.
The industry, it actually reduces you to a product, um, which is not fair, as we all know. But in the industry, it's numbers and nothing else.
Yeah.
It's hard to not take it personal, put it that way. So
Mm.
I know you should not take it personal. It's just numbers, it's business, but it's nasty. It's not very nice.
Well,
So, but you have to live with it.
to put this in a, no, I don't want to ruin your lovely afternoon there in the Canary Islands with thoughts of the music industry. You've given some very sage wisdoms there, my friend, and I think to tie our chat up in a bow, what would you say for folks that are looking to navigate, their passion, their craft, but on the other hand, they come up with the industry and all those sorts of realities. What sort
Yeah.
of words would you have to kind of encourage folks that might even be listening or watching in that situation when they meet that reality and they think, oh God, what sort of things would you might say to kind of encourage people to keep going on?
I don't know if it's an encouraging thing that I had to say, but
Yeah.
what definitely would help nowadays to realize that we're not living in 1990,
Mm,
but we're living in 2025. Lots of things have changed. So
mm,
record companies don't have the power anymore because so many business is being taken away by streaming services. So for new bands, I would definitely say take one guy as a member who has got nothing to do with music but everything with socializing.
mm,
So out there, social platforms and promote the shit out of your band. But this guy should be actually like being treated like a member.
mm. That's
And
very
this,
smart. Yeah.
yeah, it nowadays probably it's very smart, put it that way, because this guy could become the future manager as well
Mm,
in the very beginning. And later on, when there is some success going on, this guy could actually decide to get into management only or take another management, and this guy would go on for the social platforms and doing the job he always did. But you have to find somebody anyway. So
mm,
I remember back in the days for us, it was not a guy for social platforms that we need to find, but we needed to find a manager
mm,
we trust. So we decided to actually take one around one a friend of us, which was hanging out with us anyway, and he seemed to be a smart guy. We thought, and he should do the management. And he was like, "What? I should do what? I have no idea." But yeah,
yeah.
but we're in the beginning. We have no idea of anything. So you learn with us.
Mm,
And he is now one of the biggest management companies in Germany, and he is our management now back with Helloween. So that was
awesome.
Pink Cream 69, my first band. And then we've been years and years in England with the Iron Maiden management. And then we went back to my old management
Mm,
sim simply because we trusted them. And they are self-made. So they come from down there as well. That's why
mm.
the company is still called Bottom Row. So,
Fantastic.
because we came
Mm,
from nothing. And I think that's the way nowadays. Look for somebody who tr you trust, somebody who is willing to grow with a band, and then build from that. I think the
awesome.
biggest mistake for bands is they do great music, yes, no doubt about it, but nobody will ever listen to it.
Mm.
That's the problem.
Make yourself heard. Well, thank you, Andy, for very in-depth discussion that's gone in some directions I didn't
Oh,
even know the
okay.
fans were expecting. But
In depth, we would need another 1 or 2 hours to go into depth.
yeah, yeah, I think between you and me, I could keep going forever, but it's been lovely having you on the show. I'm gonna let
Likewise.
you go, and I'm excited on behalf of Halloween fans, and now I'm also excited on behalf of this guys everywhere that are
Mhm.
hearing that and going, "Oh, that's me." So enjoy your tour. And the album comes out in late August, and I can already guarantee it's gonna blow up. So I'm looking forward to that on your behalf,
I
mate.
hear
All right, you take it easy, mate. You have a great
you.
afternoon.
Yeah, we'll have another 5 interviews and then I call it a day.
Oh boy, I'll let you get to it
No,
then.
not a problem. I have another cigar here, so don't worry. I'm fine.
Oh, you're all good. Thanks so much, Andy.
Okay.
Appreciate your
Cheers.
time. Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate. Thank you.
See ya.